Okay, so I'll start with this. So what we have in this case, the first thing what you do is to look at, so we've been told to say the following are the record of audit times in days. So this is the time that is in days: 11, 14 days, 19, 18, and so on and so forth. And then they say construct a frequency table with 5 class intervals, with the first class interval starting at 10. So in this case, they made life easier. They told us the number of classes that we should have. So the number of classes that we should have, they are saying 5 class intervals. So meaning number of classes already has been sorted out, which is 5. So we should have 5 classes. Then the first one beginning with 15. So the first thing that you do is, of course, having add the number of classes, you need to find what is known as the range. So you find what is known as the range. So the range is the maximum observation minus the minimum, a range. So to allow some table, we'll look for the biggest figure that we have. So which one is the largest number that we have? Is 34. So 34 is the largest, and the smallest? 11.
11.
So it means the range in that case will be 34 minus 11. Is that okay? Thirty-four minus 11, is that okay? Thirty-four minus 11, I think that should be 20. Is it 23? So it means you have your range as 23. Then now, since we have the number of classes as 5 and the range has been calculated as that, we can now approximate the class width. So the next thing now is to calculate the class width. We want to see how wide the class will be. So we'll go to what is known as class width. So now class width formula is just the range over the number of classes. The range over the number of classes. So the range twachita maximum minus minimum, which we found as 23. Then 23 over number of classes yali 5. So we divide by 5. Then what are we getting? So we want class width, the width of the class. Those with calculators to assist us, please. I know people are not with the
4.6.
okay, 4.6. So now you take the nearest whole number. We don't round off. I mentioned this. You take the nearest whole number. Nangu tayachira 4. Nangu tayachira 0.6 apa nangu tayachira 4.1. We don't round off, but we take the nearest whole number. So kuya kuntanji na ichira kale 4. So we can't get 4 itself. We find the number that is ahead of 4, which is 5. That's why if you look at the comment here, is
5.
correct to the nearest whole number. This is the case always. So it means the class width is 5. Now, the interesting part is here, not anywhere else. It is here, where they are saying the first class interval starting at 10. So they have made our life easier. They have said that we start at 10. So it means it has to be 10 to something. Now, to take note, when you are counting, look at this. I'll make it realistic. If you are counting 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like that. So the class width we found to be 5. So if you are counting, you say 10 itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it means it will learn from 10 to 14. Don't say 10 to 15. if finish class width yava 6. Look at this. The class width we found is 5, which is this guy. So nga tulesenda width, when you've been told to say start with 10, it means 10 itself has been included. So it will be from 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So that will be the width of the class. So it will be from 10 to 14. Nishishi kufikapo if it's clear on how to go about that. Then the next class will start with 15. Then 15 plus, so kufuma kumulwiti mule chitafi 14 plus 5, carry with it. So 14 plus 5, yatupera 19. Then 15 plus 5, 20. Then 19 plus 5, 24. Like that. So we are getting the number of classes, of course. So then we have from 25 to 29. Then we have 30 to 34. Nishimwachayama number of classes yakumana, and if you count, you will see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nishiyakumana ma classes 5 because we found to be the number of classes to be 5. But pera apa. Apa def ma number of classes nyapa. Apa bachanda to construct a frequency table with 5 class intervals. Apa of mini 5 classes. So yeah, 5 to watch. Then after mwachitefyo, the next thing was to do the tally. So you do the tally, and if you remember, tally is similar to Fidatwale Chitakuri when we were doing I think should be the same topic. So, and when we were doing stem and leaf, so we'll start. The first number that we have is 11. So 11 is falling under 10 and 14. So we put a tally there. Where next number is 14. So 14, we put a tally in the same group. The next number is 19. 19 is in the second group, Katari figure. 18 in the same group there. 15 in the same group. Another 15 in the same group. We have 18 in the same group. So number 5, so we cross like that. Then we have 17 in the same group. We have 20 in the next group. We have 27 in this group. 22 in that group. 23 in that group. 22 in that group. 21 in the same group. So number 5 is twice r. 34, yapa 34. 34 in the last group. We have 28 in this group. Then we have 14 in that first group. Then we have 18 in that group. Then we have 16 in that group. Then we have finally 13 in the first group. So nishimwapwisha nga mwalembo tumatali nishimwapwisha. So this is how it will turn out to be. Abashadilako on how I'm doing it. Do we have those that are behind on how I'm doing it? Let's hope I'm not alone in this. We are moving on the same pace. Is that okay? Yeah, go back to the one. Can she carry put week? What stuff put week?
That's all right, sir. We're here.
Okay, thank you. So if that's okay, then I think we need to progress and go to the next thing. So now, this is, remember, it's the frequency table. So you just count now these. So kupenda fenomba aya. Yali anga matali umu ni 4. Next 8, umu 5, umu 2, then 1. So this is how you do it. So let me just go to where it was solved. So if you look at this is what we had. and this is what we were doing. So those were the tally marks that I was doing. So if you look at what we had, those are the 4 tallies. So the frequency is 4. There we had 8 tallies, that is the 8. There we had 5, that's the 5. There we 2 and 1. And when you total, should give you 20 because data at about 20. Please, and then take note, the frequency has been written in terms of class limits. Remember last time I talked about the limits. In number iliapa ifini 14, ukwaba 15 ishima limits. Ama numbers yabiliyarapusana, then what you have is limits. Ngayapara na yama number nishiasanguka boundary. Limits, different number, upper boundary na lower boundary. Na lower value. So these are not boundaries. So now we can convert this into boundaries. I don't know, let me just look ahead if there was anywhere where we had to convert that to boundaries. Okay, just do the same one and convert them in advance. So now what happens, like we looked at it but we didn't do it. I was looking at the procedure. So on the boundaries, on how to go about it, ku left ndewekesha hapo ku left kuleta minus 0.
Subtractors.
Exactly. Then ku right madam plus 0
You add 0.5.
natotera nishituleta kuma boundaries. So pakwamba okusanga byonse ngati mu limits, when you start solving you first have to convert them to boundaries. That's the rule. Like that you will not have issues on any questions nga mwachitefyo nishitakwave problem iliyonse. So you first have to convert them to boundaries, then your life will be easier. So like this one, the one that we have, if we are to convert it to boundaries, will be very quick. E10 minus 0.5 kurefu nishara 9.5. So hapa nishiyachinja from 9.5 to 14.5. Right to rate had 19.5, 24.5, 29.5, 34.5. Then left we are subtracting. So 29.5 here at type here, 29.5. We are subtracting 24.5. 20 minus 0.5, 19.5. 15 minus 0.5, 14.5. So nishi ifi twakansa. In this case ngayabe if you look at this apa 14.5 na apa yambira 14.5. Now these which we have are what are known as boundaries. So nishi twachita convert from limits to boundaries. Any questions? So in this case nishi twafunya from limits to boundaries. Ava shadirako. Is that okay? Okay. When people are not responding, it means that they have understood. Then the bottom part, I think, was just a note. So that was how you go about it, unless there is a question before Taturaya. So note that the class with Edith, we had 4, loneless with width 2, the lower limit to obtain the upper class limit. This reason we do not use the limits to calculate the class width. So so you can't say 34 minus 30. Yarami pera 4, but that's not the class width. So nga mrefu okusanga class width mukwete ama limits like that. Tuchita subtract kuya panch. Kutumwachita 34 minus 29. Yarami pera 5, and that's our class width. Nga mrefu 30 minus 25. Yarami pera 5 difference. Nga mukwete ama limits efo tuchita subtractive. Not muri buso. Muri buso unless ma boundaries. So if you have to kwata ma boundaries, if you want the class width, you can do subtract. So then what's the next thing? Of course, the bar charts. The bar charts, we looked at, I think we looked at one in the previous slide. So now here they are just, I think the major differences which you have to know. So hapa we will look at the bar chart and the bar chart and the bar chart and the histogram. So the major differences. So bar chart yabaso eja tu abomfishe kuja kufyama Coca-Cola, Sprite. I think yes, this is the same lesson. In the previous one we did the bar chart. So nalangira ati bar chart tuibomfya when you are dealing with the qualitative data. Yalikuwa tana bars in between bars, but for the histogram imoneka so there are no spaces between bars. Fyali bar yali ba aya ikatana filya. So in this case nga mwamona fye na fye fya ikatana, this is the histogram. Nga mwamona fye fili fya sarangana, that is the bar chart, like that. That's the bar chart. Fya sarangana, bar chart. Fya ikatana, histogram. So there may be gaps or no gaps between the bars. That is for the bar chart. So bar charting amrefu akumwa isarana ma gaps if you know that you are dealing with the bar chart. That's why they have said there may be no or there will be gaps. But automatically for the histogram yena takwa bati yakwata no bar, no there are gaps, no. But for the bar charting amrefu you can put them closely to each other such that even it appears like there are no spaces in between. But mainly we use the bar chart to denote the data that is qualitative. Then the height of each bar, so this is a similarity, or this is another difference. The height of the bar of the class interval is proportional to the frequency. So for the bar chart, ukukonso kukuli height, for it it's always frequency. Yena ikwata felionse frequency. But if you look at the histogram, ngayach pusana ma class width, we use what is known as the frequency density. So you find there are always no gaps between the bars of the histogram. The area of each bar on histogram, not height, is proportional to the frequency and it represents. So for the histogram, yakwata eyo twitati frequency density, which is the area of the bar. So iyi twarandati the vertical axis of the histogram is usually not labeled frequency but frequency density. So histogram, the bar chart twali chaya, but at this stage we'll look at the histogram. So for the histogram, ukukumbali okutubonfya frequency density, especially that ngana yapusana ama class width, we use what is known as the frequency density. And the formula for frequency density eyapa. Frequency density is just simply the frequency over the class width. So you have to calculate your class width. So let's look at this example. Let's look at this example so that I explain what we are talking about when it comes to histogram. So now, example 4. The frequency table below displays the distribution of ages of passengers on the UBZ bus from Lukitwe to Lusaka. Age X years, like that. From 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 70. So nganaipusha, if you look at this, since yachipwira pali 20 yamba 20, meaning atkwete ma boundaries, you can do direct. Then yapaipwirire pali 40, yambira pa 40 ma boundaries. But ama class limits ya yatwachirara ndati nga yachipwira pali 19 iyi. Ero yambira pa 20. Pakusanga class with dictate muchitefilya. Filya twala chitefya kuchita subtract. So so twala for our first class width. Let's say we want to know if the class width is the same throughout. So tule into chite class width. So twala chita class width ya umumu group 1 ni 20 20 minus 0. 20 minus 0. What's the class width that we get? 20 minus 0, 20. Umumbi mu group ni 40 minus 20. 40 minus 20. Yatupera 20. Class width. Then 50 minus 40, which will give us 10. So automatically you see here it's 20, the class width is 20, normally 20, but we have to pay 10. That's why the frequency density now plays a very important role, because now Psanama width of the class. So even there you're going to have 70 minus 50 and you get 20. And then you have there 100 minus 70, then you have to pay 30. So ayana lemba pamulwe my class widths, and you can see that they are different. So frequency histogram is given by the area, not the height of each bar. Hence, find the frequency on the histogram with the varying width using the formula. Frequency of a class is class width times frequency density. So we will find the frequency density now. Okay, so there are no questions unless there is a question. Mr. Kennedy, sir, are we on the same page?
Yes, we are. Though I joined late, but trying to catch up.
Okay, so Apa, sir, based on what you, with the time you joined, on the previous thing, yes, you missed, but not on this one. On this one, I'm trying to explain again. Let me just tell you what is important here, then I think you should be able to catch up. So what's important is class width. Width ni how wide the class is. So here to get from 0 to 20. So then 20 to 40. So nachandati if ikwete yaba from 0 to 20 ro yambira 20 to 40. Pakusanga width kule chitafe direct mwabula 20 minus 0 nishimwasanga class width. If lyandembere pamuru. So nga twakwata my class width, we want to do, the target is to draw the histogram. That's the target. Target is here. Display the data on the histogram. So now, for us to do this, we need to know the class width of each class, which we've done. Then the next agenda now is to find what will go now on that. So I will just put down here what is known as the frequency density. Narabikira panchapa. So aba makaculator kumwa paramika kwa makaculator ine kunona aba na nimye banje bere calculator kwati nshavamo sana nshakwata. So mwaranga afu akofe kuli ine nshira. So tukala chitati nga nalanda mwapunda twalemba twalawomba bwino sana muri wenshira. Not ndelanda feneka nisha awe kwenata tulebomba bwino. So I need 2 volunteers, at least one to be confirming nga batupera bambi bachita confirm, so that we move smoothly. So as we are choosing one who is going to assist us, I'm going to talk about the most important formula for frequency density. So frequency density is just simply, so frequency density is simply just what? Frequency over class width. Class width. So narabadila ka first, narachita demonstrator ka first. So group like ya papa first, the frequency is 4. So nishipamuru hapa frequency ni 4. 4 ndefu nya umuomo tulembera frequency E4. E4 mwana class width tuli hapa muru nachira chitaka kireti. So 4 over 20 nishe frequency density ya first. And what are we getting? 4 divide 20. Ala kabili.
0.2.
0.2.
0.2. So hii nishe frequency density nishe yo mwarabika hapa 0.2. So ndefu atubombe muri neshira pamo So for twachita ka formula ninkalemba apa, but for the sake of peace I'll be just writing what's happening. 4 is the frequency over 20, which is the frequency density, then 0.2. Then apa konkerepo frequency ni 44 over class width twachita calculate pamulu apa 20. So nga muli ilya ine nshira mkwai na bampeko 44 divide 20
2.2.
atotera madam 2.2. Then aka konkerepo nga ilya ine nshira mkwai 36 over 10 chiba mpako mkwai
3.6.
3.6 natotera. Enyaka konkerepo muli ilya ine nshira mkwai 20 28 over class width yachiba ni 70 minus 50 nayo yachiba 20 mkwai. Then kuba angafu ako muli ilya ine nshira balengafu mkwai
1.4.
1.4. Then namukulekeresha nga fyafine baletita lyonse mkwai 6 over 30. Ero bampa mkwai 0.2. 0.2.
Yes.
Okay. So ayaye yatuleta ati ema area efiri important ifi because ama nanikane nayapusana ama class width nayapusana, so tufile twasanga we twita frequency density aya. So mu group 1 from 0 to 20 0.2, from 20 to 40 2.2, from 40 to 50 3.6, from 50 to 70 1.4, from 70 to 100 0.2. aba ashagirako mukwayi. Mr. Kennedy, I think muli abalubulwa kukwipusha ekipusho nga namukwata.
And if you win on the conquer.
Okay. Nshibe nga kuli bambi wonse nga tulekonkana lafi futefi namwona ndele mbera fi mu question paper, so bakuyapa next page ni fyala futi kanshibe nga kuli abashagirako abalecha ama screenshot fyafine kuba chitafi fyafine benyi na lafi futefi. What's important is make sure that you understand what we are doing. Please make sure that you understand. Okay. Okay, so nafi futa ine umenya ama screenshot aba ama screenshot. Okay, nafi futa nomba pa nafi futa. Okay, so having done that now, they wanted us to do the that is the table that we were doing, the frequency density. This is good. So that was what was happening. Frequency density ngana mumwana ndiye inaishida. Then the histogram of the distribution of ages passengers on a bus. Now we do the histogram. So what I wanted to explain on very important concept, of course the histogram has been plotted there, but what is it that is very important is the class width. Very important. Quite all right, the histogram given here as we can see it with the calculations that we were doing. Now, what is very important in this case, and I repeat, is the width of the class. So, ngamwamona each antanshi, or to begin with, what you're supposed to do. Let me just write apapambadi our histogram just for the sake of showing. So, ngatwamona pambali twabikati, let's say we say 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 na 100. Okay, twakwana. So nga mwamona class width ya pack first yachibanyi from 0 to 20. So nga mwamona it's from 0 to 20, so apa okufika pa 20. Ero yachiba frequency density twachisanga yachiba 0 point shani. Abachira konkamo ara kabili bonza natufuta. Okay, I think it was
0.2.
So 0.2. So nga mwabika apa, so let's say epali 0.2 apa nga mwamona mwafika pa 20 apa, so inyishi a bar twakwata e, so that's your bar like that, twabikanga fija, so that is our bar like that. So you can even indicate on top that this is 0.2, and this side mufire mwalembati frequency density, nishina mulemba fija fine frequency density. Then after mwachitefe, the next thing was, the next class width was from 20 to 40. Then what was the height? I think the height, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2.2.
Yes.
So yachiba 2.2 mwabikanga fija. So apa yarafika ni 2.2. Apa muru paja mwabika 2.2. Then the next one yachitupera 1.4. Madam yachi 1.4 yat konkapo awe 3.6.
3.6.
So number moneni eyo ndefo anchitesana display point. Height mwachita figure out, but width yachiva from 40 to 50. So nga mwamona aka kachiva akatali, but it is smaller or it's thinner than the other two because of the class width kena kafuminefe from 40 to 50. So you find that the histogram tafiva fimofino kuina kwa chiba fimofira vefia ina tumotu aonda, so akakachikwata 3.6 kachiva kaonda because the class width was smaller compared to the other two, so it was like that. Then the next one was 1.4, and it was free from 50 to 70. Yachwan 1.4.
1.4, yes.
Yes, so mwabi kafija 1.4. So if you can see, the width of this one is bigger than the previous one. Then here class yachiva same near upper first 0.2, but it was the widest because for it was running from 70 to 100. That was the class width. So you can see it was 0.2, but the width of the class was big. So the histogram you expect to have not the same width in terms of the bar. Any questions? Abashajirako? Any questions? Abashajirako?
I think we can proceed.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's it. Unless there are questions. Okay, so let's come back. I think I come in Kapwa, and that marks the end of the lecture notes that the madam shared to say that as what has been given out so far. So it's either we end here or we will start looking at the questions from the tutorial sheet that I shared. But for what has been given by Mr. Runjebe, for now, this is how far he went, unless there is a question.
I may not join the next one. I need to submit that assignment. So if there'll be any, you send me the video, then I'll find time to go through.
Awe, since namkwata assignment, no question amwesha, I think we can end here.
Thank you,
Mukwai.
it.
Eh?
Asking for it.
You're asking for what, madam?
The tutorial sheet that you sent to them earlier. I think I wasn't here.
Oh, you went there. Okay, so there is a tutorial sheet. And I think Mr. Runjebe will send the same one again.
Are you on the Are you on the
Yes.
main group?
Me,
Okay, I don't know if you're asking for Kim's personal ones or the ones the lecturer shared.
The one that is just talking about.
the
Okay,
lecturer,
all
the
right.
lecturer shared the tutorial sheet as well. He has shared.
No, he said maybe tomorrow. He said he's going to share his own tutorial sheets. I'm
Oh,
sure they are the same ones you have.
yes, it's the same one, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then another thing before you go, madam. I'm hearing an assignment. There's an assignment.
Oh, the assignment is for a different.
I went with